All right, next up we have Rachel Buchanan.
Hi, everyone.
Rachel!
Hello.
WalkAway!
So I feel like I am in the lineup at the exact right spot, because I do believe that we are fighting a war. Can you all hear me okay? Okay. My name is Rachel Buchanan. I'm a Connecticut lifelong resident. I've left, but I've come back. I love my state and I love my country. I'm here today because I was the other side. I was a registered Democrat for 25 years. Leading up to the 2016 presidential election, I realized that I had turned a blind eye to many things. The Obama years were a blur for me because I was parenting, I was coaching, I was focusing on other very important things. But I also was very naive in the fact that I trusted the people that we voted for actually cared about our rights, that they were actually there to defend the Constitution of the United States, and I put my trust into people that I should not have. I was in the camp originally when we had our two final candidates of Nope and Noper. There was a meme that went around with that yard sign, I would have been that girl. But because I was also someone who felt compelled to do my due diligence to make the most responsible choice in November of 2016, I took the time to educate myself on both candidates. I went down the rabbit hole of Hillary Clinton. I knew she made me uncomfortable. I wasn't sure why. By the time I got to Haiti, I knew why. I knew a lot. I went back 100 years. If you haven't gone backwards in the education, I highly recommend it to everyone. Fast forward, I do my due diligence on Donald Trump. Now I must say this, I grew up in the 90s. Donald Trump was in every rap video that I watched. I loved hip hop, American culture, and Donald Trump represented everything that represented the American dream. So I had a really difficult time taking him and being like, okay, he's cool in that video and on that reality show, but now he's gonna be the leader of the free world. I think some of us needed a minute to catch up. In my research, I also found that Donald Trump, who since, as long as you can go back, has been consistent and clear in the message about his love of country. And he didn't just rant and rave and point fingers and blame. He was actually a private citizen offering us solutions all the way back, and he's been incredibly consistent. So I marched my butt as a registered Democrat into the 2016 presidential election, and I cast my first Republican vote, my first Republican presidential vote for Donald J. Trump. My hand shook, I couldn't breathe, I came out, I texted my husband, I'm like, I can't believe I just did that, what's going on? But I knew she wasn't the gal, and I knew he loved our country. So the first speaker said something that was very, very important. This is a spiritual war, but to understand the war, if you've always stood where you stand now and you haven't been on the other side, you must sit and scratch your head and think, how did we get here? How did these people believe these things? How could they possibly think that this is okay? I stand here before you fully accountable because, again, I was a registered Democrat for 25 years. I worked on Ned Lamont's first gubernatorial campaign. You have to go to hell to get to heaven, and you have to learn. Now, fast forward. Here I stand in front of you today. I went down the rabbit hole. I've done my self-education. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. They're not right in front to look at the truth right in front of you. La, 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 la. On the first date with my husband, we had gone to school our whole lives together. He was a registered Republican, and in perfect liberal defiance with blasphemy, I asked, how can you be a Republican? He gave me some logical, responsible answer about fiscal responsibility and solution-based and, you know, all that good stuff, that not fun stuff. And I was like, well, and he asked in return, how can you be a Democrat? Now I want you to wait for it, because to understand the enemy, you need to understand how profound this moment was in my response. Because it's human. It's human. I'm a good person. It's nice. Rewind 20 years. I was an inclusion and diversity trainer for a large concerned corporation. I was that girl who marched into leadership trainings and rolled out the training that got us here today. I was proud of it. I stood in my truth and my reality as a proud liberal. There was this time that they made our management team take the Myers-Briggs personality test. If you're familiar with it, I think mine would be very different today if I took it. But we all had to take it, and then we had to put the acronyms outside our cubicle. So my ENFP, emotional feeling, whatever it was. If you wanted to come talk to Rachel Buchanan, you needed to read your guide first about how to approach me, okay? Because I might be sensitive about a few things, and you might have to come and talk to me. If you're very direct, maybe I can't handle that. I would really need you to approach me in a different way. So you better come prepared, or I can't talk to you. This was 20 years ago. I need you to let that land to understand the enemy. If I was rolling out inclusion and diversity training today, I would be walking into a classroom talking about pronouns. We would not be able to have a conversation because we have taken that human, nice, pie in the sky, good idea, and we have run ourselves in circles. This gets me emotional, and I'm really sorry, but it's been a journey. After you walk away, you feel very isolated. I never knew Republicans would embrace me. I didn't believe all the stereotypes. I was more facts-based logic, show me something. The problem was I wasn't seeing it. It wasn't being shown. I was being shown the propaganda in the media that they wanted me to see. I was coaching, I was making dinner, I was doing things. I wasn't paying attention, shame on me. One day, I stood in my room, in my house by myself, and I watching YouTube, doing my homework, because the due diligence never stopped. I never stopped educating myself. You can't go back. You just can't go back. I found a video on YouTube. So there's this guy. His name's Brandon Straka. And the video begins, once upon a time, I was a liberal. Nothing has ever resonated with me more than sitting in my room watching this video. The video was only 6 minutes long. I hope everyone takes an opportunity to watch it. Brandon Straka, the founder of the #WalkAway campaign, came out and said, once upon a time I was a liberal. I voted for Hillary Clinton, went online because he was so devastated that Donald Trump had mocked a disabled reporter. Even though I voted for him, I still didn't like it. But guess what someone did? A sane, rational Republican sent him a compilation of Donald Trump mocking like 7 people the same way. No one was spared. White, black, woman, man, disabled, it didn't matter. That was his gesture. For the founder of the WalkAway campaign, the veil was lifted harshly. For me, it was a process. But for him, it was a real Band-Aid being ripped off. You feel isolated, alone, scared. Where am I going to go? Am I the only one who feels this way? But the WalkAway campaign encouraged people to come out with video and written testimonials talking about why they too walked away from the Democrat Party. Hundreds of thousands of testimonials poured in. We marched in D.C. on Pennsylvania Avenue, and we stood there, the lost, the silent majority, silent no more. If you want to know what we believe in, I will quote Brandon Straka, because I can't do it better than he did. He said, I staunchly reject racism of any kind. I reject the marginalization of any human being based off their gender or sexual orientation. I reject tyrannical groupthink. I reject a system that allows an ambitious, misinformed, dogmatic mob to suppress free speech and create false narratives and apathetically steamroll over the truth. Brandon Straka, WalkAway campaign. Now, I just need to let this land, because a lot of this sides part, we can't be two symbols, and that's why I'm out from behind my keyboard and I'm standing in front of you today and being brave and exposing myself as someone who was part of the problem. Problem is, you don't know you're part of the problem, right? You don't know. So if someone's still standing in front of you having dialogue, even if it's slinging mud, I'm not talking about putting hands on and all this craziness that we've got to, but if someone is with an opposition, a different view is standing in front of you, they're still talking to you. And it's really, really important that you know the enemy. I know liberals grow up and a lot of us become conservatives, but 20 years ago, Myers-Briggs, inclusion and diversity training, you think it's any better now? It's gone crazy, and they don't even know it. So I wanted to come out here today to give you some hope. When you're scratching your head and going, how can these people feel this way? Ask them, and then show them. Don't tell them, show them. That video of the president doing that for different people, you can't deny the facts that are right in front of you. It's hard, right? I know some can, but a lot of people are still in the middle, unsure of where they fit. The hashtag WalkAway campaign does not tell people to walk to the Republican Party or to the Independent Party or to conservatism. It just simply means walk away from the Democrats. Walk away from what they stand for today, because the United States of America will never be a socialist nation. Since 2016, I have my permit to carry. I am primarying for position on the Board of Education in the town that my husband and I grew up on, and I've made a conscious decision to not let voices like Ayanna Presley's Democrats don't need any more black faces that don't want to be a black voice. Guess what? As a part black woman, I could go down their little checklist for days. Keep it coming. You want to know what? Because I don't fit into your box. You're not going to get me to surrender based on some type of preference, and I'm just not going to do it. I want to restore your hope and faith that there are new registered voters out there to get. We are of mixed race. We are of different backgrounds, and we are here, and our kids, I can't even tell you, when our kids are being taught that it's disrespectful to say the words illegal immigrant because it's not nice language, and we're supposed to call them undocumented travelers because it's nicer, we don't have time. Time's up. Please look at the WalkAway campaign. Please watch that 6-minute video. It's very powerful. And if you have any questions after this event on how we got here and how to talk to people who were once part of the problem, it's about accountability and not rejecting responsibility. You have to look at it, sit in it, and come to peace with it before you can change it. Thank you so much for your time today.